$7 million for reef fish management, $25 billion to combat Asian carp. Yeah, 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 yeah.
And this is just the beginning of America First.
I am not up to the job. And I mean that sincerely. It's not like, whoa.
It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day. Every day it is time for us to agree.
I am not up to the job. And I mean that sincerely. It's not like, whoa.
And then they have cans of soup. And they throw the cans of soup. That's better than a brick because you can't throw a brick, it's too heavy. But a can of soup, you can really put some power into that, right? And then when they get caught, they say, no, this is soup for my family. They're so innocent. This is soup for my family. It's incredible. And you have people coming over with bags of soup, big bags of soup, and they lay it on the ground, and the anarchists take it and they start throwing it at our cops, at our police. And if it hits you, that's worse than a brick because it's got force. It's the perfect size. It's like made perfect. And when they get caught, they say, no, this is just soup for my family. And then the media says, this is just soup. These people are very, very innocent. They're innocent people.
You know, the truth of the matter is that when you look at some of my policies, in a lot of ways, Richard Nixon was more liberal than I was.
Oh, seriously, hot sauce. I'm so serious. So serious. Sauce. Lot of serious sauce. So seriously. So seriously. So serious. So serious. So serious. So serious. So serious. So serious. Seriously, hot sauce. I've been eating a lot of hot sauce. A lot of raw peppers and hot sauce.
I hate the white man. He's of the devil. He was made in a cave in the worst parts of Europe, produced from the lowest forms of humanity.
It's like, oh, Abel's your guy, eh, God? How about if I take him out in the field and beat him to death? How do you feel about that? All my...
Bad deal. Should have never been thought of. $7 million for reef fish management, $25 million to combat Asian carp, $2.5 million to count the number of amberjack fish in the Gulf of Mexico.
Early in the morning, they went to the table with the black robe, the black shield, and they pulled out the votes.
I am not up to the job. And I mean that sincerely. It's not like, whoa.
Everybody comes in your grandmother. 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 I'll kiss every guy, man and woman, man and woman. Look at that guy, how handsome he is. I'll kiss him.
Is this thing on? Testing. Testing. Testing, 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 testing. Is this thing on? Hello? Why am I so fucking bright? Holy shit. You see this shit? Why am I so fucking bright? What the hell? What? Do I normally look this bright? I also cleaned off the webcam lens today. Like right before the show started, I cleaned off the lens. So got there's like a layer of slime and spit on the webcam. You know, cuz I go like yeah, you know, when I do my show. So, I'm building up a new layer. But I cleaned off the grime, the slime, the spit, the bacteria, the mold, the slime, everything else. Cleaned it all off. So we got HD quality, bitch. You see this? I feel like this is new. I feel like this is a new era. We are entering a new era. You ever know these motherfuckers that say era? It's era. I'm just kidding. I'll say era. I think they're both interchangeable. But era, era. We're entering a new era. Everybody say hello to Mila. Mila's in the chat room. Everybody, round of applause. Yeah! A round of everybody say hello. Mila has joined us today. Goddamn Mila. of the reasonable, Mila is here, y'all. Everybody say hello. Can you hear that noise that the tongue on my teeth is made? Here, hold on. Is that... You get anything there? And Alicia's here too, I guess. Anyway, folks. Yeah! It's the goddamn weekend. You love to troll. Got some coffee here. Alright, y'all. So today's show is going to be a little bit of a fun show. I'm not going to lie, y'all. Last week, I was feeling pretty, I was down. I was up. I'm up currently. But over the last week, I was down. So I watched like a bunch of movies last week, but I didn't really talk about them on stream. So today I'm going to do like maybe 5 movie reviews. Like just, that's going to be the second half of the show. I'm just going to bang them out. Pump them out. I'm just going to talk about some movie films that I watched over the course of the week. But this is a news show. So we will be doing a news program as well. And so we're going to do a news program. And we're not going to do anything, you know, like, not going to be too much, right? But get some stuff going on. There's a mass shooting in Texas. 3 police officers wounded. Oh, shit. That's cool. Bang him on the curb and get him rusty. But yeah, last week I wasn't feeling too well. I don't know if anyone noticed. Do I hide my emotions good? Well, you tell me. But, there you go. All right, let's start the show. You could tell. I doubt it. I doubt it. All right. So we got an article on Newsweek. Mansion and cinema critics say the GOP will end filibuster anyway to ban abortion. So, this was something I wanted to talk about too. So, let's outsource this to an article and then we'll riff. Opponents of the Senate filibuster are brushing off concerns of a pair of Democratic moderates in favor of the procedure. That is to say, Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema, saying Republicans will one day remove the legislative roadblock to pass national abortion restrictions. President Joe Biden conceded on Friday that Senate Democrats did not have the support in their own ranks to overcome a filibuster to protect abortion rights. With the Senate evenly divided, Senators Joe Manchin of West Virginia and Kyrsten Sinema of Arizona, two centrist Democrats, have rankled the party's base by opposing carve-outs on the procedure of voting rights and other issues. Both have opposed weakening the filibuster, arguing that keeping it in place would provide a check on the future Republican-led Senate. Y'all, but they had no problem carving out an exemption for the debt ceiling. Reminder, like, they showed, oh yeah, we can do that just like that. That was a pretty bad snap. How's that? Just like that? All right, bringing it back. The Supreme Court's blockbuster decision last week. That's a great word, blockbuster decision, because it's like we're living in a movie, right? Undoing the constitutional protection of abortion has brought new urgency to the debate over the filibuster, with some saying Senate Democrats should do away with it while they still can. Manchin and Sinema have signaled they remain opposed. In May, Manchin voted with all 50 Senate Republicans against legislation codifying abortion rights, saying the measure was too expansive. Shit fucking these motherfuckers. Writer Brian Behar in a tweet said Manchin and Sinema have argued for keeping the filibuster in the name of tradition and bipartisanship. Yet we all know damn well that the second the GOP controls, I don't know why this guy's getting an accent, but the second the GOP controls the Senate, they will gut the filibuster and pass a national abortion ban. Reminder, they literally have said that. The Republicans are literally, like, a lot of Republican activists have said that they want to get away with the filibuster as soon as they get a Democratic or a Republican trifecta. And then also Mike Pence and other potential presidential candidates are also saying that they want a national abortion ban, and they will they will go for it with any means necessary. David Hogg, founder of gun control advocacy group March for Our Lives, took an even more dire tone in a follow-up tweet saying either all Democratic leaders change their strategy substantially and stop offering bull fucking shit, insanely tone-deaf platitudes, and start calling for expansion of the court and abolishing the filibuster, or we stand a double-digit chance of losing our republic. I agree with David goddamn Hogg. I'm glad to see, like, David Hogg, by the way. Like, he's got, like, that platform that he's been using, in my opinion, pretty well. I think more activists, especially those that have a lot of followers, need to just continually beat down on this corrupt corporate Democratic fucking stronghold of senators and, like Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden. These people are not our friends. People need to stop treating them like Joe Biden's an ally that he's not. Look at this fucking shit. Whoa. So anyway, I agree. I agree. Fuck these corporate Democrats. Fuck them. Republicans will do literally everything in their power to restrict people's rights at all times. And Democrats will do literally nothing to retain people's rights at all times. And people need to get with the fucking program because we're running out of time. We are running out of time. It's that simple. Ugh. Goddamn. Step one. Domino effect. Step one. Some crazy motherfucker goes into a school and murders people. Step two. Tyler is watching above it all. I mean, when you really think about it. You know what? Maybe we need more school shootings. Anyway. What's up, Choky, by the way? Hopefully everything's going well on your end. My 88-year-old mother today actually said, "We are so fucked." Tell her to watch the goddamn show. Get the fucking every generation of environmental coffee house. You have any grandkids or anything? Like, get them all in here. Get every single one of these motherfuckers. Depleted uranium cowboy. My granddaughter going to be homeschooled. You have a granddaughter? Get her in the fucking stream. Homeschooled. The only homeschooling you need is above it goddamn motherfucking all. That's all we need. She's 2. Well, get her in early. Highly educated in the goddamn. It's true. Is Mila in the goddamn, or is she eating out at Sunday brunch again? Sunday brunch. Mila's always going out and popping champagne with her fellow limousine liberals. You know what I mean? All right, y'all. Let's have a little fun. This isn't serious. None of this matters. But let's have a little fun. 71% don't want Biden to run for re-election. Poll! Seven in 10 Americans say they do not want Biden to run for a second term, according to a new poll that comes out as Biden's approval numbers remain low and his party braces for losses this November. I covered a poll like maybe a week or two ago as well that said something very similar. And this also extends to Donald Trump. Americans seemingly want to move past the age of old-ass losers controlling the parties. I'm in favor of that personally. But I'm worried that Democrats don't have a backup plan. Harvard Caps Harris poll survey, shared exclusively with The Hill, found that 71% of respondents polled do not think Biden should run for a second term, compared to 29% who say he should run. Among the contingent of respondents who believe the president should not run, 45% said Biden should not make another bid because he is a bad president. Most of those are probably going to be the Republicans. Though, I would also say that he's a bad president. Well, about 1/3 of respondents said he is too old. And about 1/4 said because it was time for a change. So too old and a time for a change, that's going to be the liberals. They're like, they know that Biden's a bad president, but they're afraid of saying it. They don't want anyone to know that they know. You know what I mean? President Biden may want to run again, but the voters say no to the idea of the second term, panning the job he is doing as president. Only 30% of Democrats would even vote for him in a primary. Mark Penn, the co-director of Harvard Caps Harris poll survey, said, but a majority of respondents, 61%, also said that former President Donald Trump should not run for White House again in 2024. 39% of the respondents said the former president should run again. Y'all, I just want to take a break here real quick. I know I've been through 2024 will be my third presidential cycle as an adult of eligible voting age. And so I have noticed the cycles. I've noticed it. I pay attention to things. You might not know that, but I pay attention to things. I got eyeballs. I got ear holes, right? I'm listening, I'm looking, I'm seeing what's going on here. I remember during the 2016 election, in like 2015, right, in the year beforehand, everyone was like, oh, we want new people. We'll vote for third party. Remember when Gary Johnson was like getting polled at like 17%? The Libertarian candidate in 2016. He had 17% in a poll. When it was Hillary and Donald running against each other. 17%. That was impressive, I saw. Now let me look up what he actually got in the election. Right? So I'm going to look at what he actually got in the election. He ended up getting 3.25%. Gary Johnson, in 2016, got 3.25%. He was polling at 17% at one point, and I believe it was September or October of 2016, and he ended up getting 3.2%. So Americans love doing this shit, where in polls, they'll say something like, oh yeah, blah, 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 blah. But then, literally, not even close is what actually happens in voting. Not even close. Not even fucking close. And then 2020 happens, and everyone's like, all right, it's going to be the year of Bernie. But then, you know. And then we have Biden and Trump, but enough people were like, we don't want Trump. So now we're back to this position where 2024 is looking to be Biden and Trump. And there's another poll that came out like a month ago that said that like 60-something% of Americans would be, quote, open to voting for an independent or a third party. And this shit, I swear to you, this fucking shit happens every cycle. Where you see these stupid fucking polls where America's like, I hate both parties. They shouldn't run again. Let's vote for an independent. But all of these people don't actually do that kind of shit. But you know what's interesting is that like a lot of people online in the online news world that I consider myself a part of, a lot of people will make a big stink about this. Oh, are Americans finally ready for a third party? Are Americans finally ready to break the duopoly? You hear this shit all the time. The answer is no. The answer will be no in 2024. The answer will most likely be no in 2028. So I just want to say, I want to put that into perspective. And then let's jump back to this poll that we're talking about. 71% of the country does not want Biden to run again. Well, first of all, 71% of the country also wants to legalize marijuana at the federal level. Joe Biden campaigned on legalizing decriminalizing, he campaigned on marijuana at the federal level. If Joe Biden actually cared at all about wanting to be reelected, he would probably do something like that he can do with just executive power. Don't need Congress. All you got to do is reschedule marijuana or deschedule it with an executive order. So, he campaigned on it, and they don't care. Right? And Joe Biden, there's reports that privately Joe Biden is pissed the fuck off at the idea that people think he's not going to run again. Like, in his world, he wants people to think that Joe Biden is going to be running in 2024, and he wants, like, there to be no primary. He wants people to fall in line. But he's not going to do anything. Like, he just wants to be anointed as the king of the Democratic Party without doing anything to convince people that that is a good strategy. And so Democrats are sounding the alarms. And a lot of them, they're doing these Politico pieces where they're not really saying anything in public, right? And it's like mysterious sources. But also, the Democratic Party has a problem where There is no one in the line of succession that would run and be able to do well in a 2024 election. Right? Kamala Harris? Are you joking? Are you joking? Right? So if we have a situation where Joe Biden, frankly,
I am not up to the job. And I mean that sincerely. It's not like, whoa.
If we have a situation where Biden runs in an open primary, or if he just steps down, if we have that kind of situation, who the fuck else is there in the Democratic Party that would be able to win a general election? Let's be honest. Kamala Harris? Pete Buttigieg? Do you all remember when Pete Buttigieg literally did the same thing Donald Trump did during the 2020 election? Does anyone remember this? I feel like it was a Twilight Zone kind of scenario. Pete Buttigieg, on the night of the Iowa caucus, declared victory before all the votes counted. That's literally exactly what Donald Trump did. Lose an election. Donald Trump lost the election. Joe Biden won the election. But just declare victory anyway. So you think Pete Buttigieg is going to be the one to run in 2024 against Ron DeSantis or Donald Trump? Who else is there? Elizabeth Warren? Come on, let's be real. Come on. My opinion, the only one that has a chance is Bernie Sanders. That's my opinion. I am Bernie or bust. Let's go, Bernie. Round 3. That's my opinion. I think Katie Porter, if she ran, responding to the chat here, if she ran, I'd be interested. But she's got to start building her profile like right now. She needs to start building her profile like last year. And that's the problem, is no one in the Democratic Party knows how or cares at all to build a profile, a national profile. They just don't care. I'd be interested in a Fetterman. Let's assume Fetterman wins in the Pennsylvania Senate race and then like starts making national headlines every day. I'm in. I'd support that. My general position on a primary is I support whoever is the furthest to the left and has the highest chances of winning. That's the ratio. 2020, that was Bernie Sanders was furthest to the left, and Bernie Sanders had the highest chance of winning. So, boom. I mean, that was an easy choice. But if you're going to make me choose between like a left-wing candidate that like has a lower chance of winning than someone who's slightly more to the right but has a way higher chance, then that's going to be a difficult calculation. But 2016, easy choice, Bernie Sanders. 2020, no-brainer. Bernie Sanders is the only lefty in the race at all. But again, the Democrats have this problem where they're not doing a lot of them are sounding the alarm about 2024, but they're not doing anything about it. They're not setting anyone up at all. Like, people need to be like, I don't know, man. I'm nervous. As someone that doesn't want to see Republicans take this country over and eliminate democracy, which they might do anyway with this fucking stupid state theory bullshit that the Supreme Court's going to look at. Let's get back here. Let's talk about the Trump side of things. Among the respondents polled who believe Trump should now make another bid in the presidential cycle, 36% said Trump was erratic. 33% said he would divide the country, and 30% said he was responsible for Jan 6. I feel like all of those things are the same thing. When a mob, blah, blah. A majority of those polled said they would consider a moderate, independent candidate should Biden and Trump square off against each other. Again, this is the thing. Like, you'll see, like, Rising and Breaking Points and, like, the Jimmy Dore people right? They all love this shit. Like Status Quo loves to do these big, oh, are Americans ready for a third party? The answer is no. Now, it's good for a headline. It's good to get some views. It's good for some copium and hopium to inject into the viewer base. That's fine. But the answer is no. Americans are not ready for a third party. And also, a moderate independent. All right, let's be honest. Let's be real. Let's start the conversation about a moderate independent. If we're going to get a moderate independent, I'm going to vote for Matthew McConaughey. I'm just saying, man. Did you all see that speech he did at the White House? Oh, incredible. Love that guy. Anyway, that's not going to happen, though. 60% said they would consider a moderate independent candidate for the president if Biden... I already read that, actually. Wait, no. Okay, there's just the same line that gives the same... two lines that give the same information. Broken down by party, 53% of Republicans polled and 64% of Democrats said they would consider a moderate independent candidate in that situation. No, they won't. I'm just saying, they're lying to you. They're lying to you. Like, would consider doesn't mean anything, man. Development comes as Biden continues to suffer low approval ratings. In a lot of instances, I believe he's lower than Donald Trump at this point in the presidency. Now, obviously, there's more crises going on, but he's not doing anything about it. Again, the one thing we hired Joe Biden to do, solve the COVID crisis, we just covered it up. Just threw it under the rug. Oh, what COVID? What? There's a crisis? What? 28% support his action on inflation. The economy, 32%. Stimulating jobs, 43%. And reacting to COVID-19, 50%. Can you imagine half the country thinks Biden did a good job on COVID? What? What? He literally just declared victory and covered it up. That's it. And half of people are like, that's good. Anyway, my opinion, don't fall for the bullshit. We need to come up with a better strategy than, oh, what if Jesse Ventura runs independent? Remember that shit last fucking cycle? What if Jesse Ventura runs? He's gonna save us all, man. Anyway, don't fall for the bullshit. But it is important. The thing that's important is that nobody likes Trump and nobody likes Biden. Nobody likes him. Nobody fucking likes him. But that's the thing. No one's going to do anything about it. They're lying. They're making it up. They're talking tough. But again, Gary Johnson in 2016, a month and a half before the election day, polled it around 17% at an all-time high. And then he ended up getting 3%. Americans are all talk. They don't give a fuck. It's that simple. It's just that simple. Matthew McConaughey, star of Magic Mike and Interstellar. Fuck yeah. I love Matthew McConaughey. His politics... But his movies, I mean, he's good. I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's just that simple. If you want to see Matthew McConaughey in underwear dancing with exposed thighs, Magic Mike, check it out. Who do you love more? Nicolas Cage is all time. Like, no question, no competition, not even close. All right, y'all. I'm going to get into movie time. Like I said, last week, over the course of the week, I was watching a lot of movies, but I didn't really talk about them on stream. Just because I didn't feel like it. I was low energy, you know? So we're going to get into movie time. We got a bunch of movies I want to talk about that I watched over the last week. And, you know, if that's not your thing, get the fuck out. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to fucking tell you. If you don't like movies, fuck off. Get the fuck out. Fuck off. You know what I'm saying? Bye. Again, I'm so bright. Like, why am I so fucking bright for some reason? It's kind of like, you know, freaking me out a little bit. It's freaking me out.
Get back in the business of creating a more peaceful world. Please clap.
All right. First up. So last week I watched a film for the first time. Ocean's 11. Watched the fucking movie for the first time last week. And what a movie. It's a movie. It's film. Ocean's 11. So this movie, it's a heist. They're planning a heist. They're going to steal some money from the goddamn casino. It's a heist. It's a good movie. I like this movie. I enjoyed watching it quite a lot. The thing I like about this movie, I would say, the thing I like about this movie the most is like the planning phase montage. And so, the planning phase montage, they're planning the heist, they're trying to get a squad together. Yeah, I know that this is based on an older movie. Haven't seen it, so I'm reviewing whichever one has this poster with these characters. And so the planning phase, the montage where they're getting the crew together. Right, that shit was great. Right. One of my favorite parts about this movie is, like, there's a lot of twists and plot twists. Like, during the planning phase, like, they show what their plan is to the audience, but then they skip over a bunch of shit, right? So, like, we think we know what the plan is going in as the audience, but we don't, and then it twists up, and then it's all different. It's crazy. It's great. I mean, this movie was just fun to watch. It's one of those movies that's hard to, like, do a review of. It's hard to, like, comment on, because it's, like, and it's, you know, I don't want to spoil the twists either, because if you haven't seen it, the twists are fun and it makes it worthwhile. Like, the characters are all good, right? The acting is great because, like, again, it's a heist movie, right? So they're all, like, it's actors in a movie, right? That's the first layer. Second layer, is that, like, they're actors, like, lying to people and deceiving people as part of the heist. You know what I mean? So it's actors, like, playing actors, right? And I love the multiple layers of acting going on, and it's super fun. I love watching all the characters, like, pretend to be different people. It's just super fun. It's a fun movie. Like, I don't know, man. Some of my favorite scenes would probably be the elevator scene with the laser beams. That shit was great. I love the scene where George Clooney's getting his shit kicked in at the end. Pretty good. It's a good movie. I don't know what to tell you. But again, my favorite part is just the whole montage of, like, him getting the squad together. Like, they go out, you know, to a random location, meet with someone at a random place, and then just, like, you know, say, all right, we got a heist. It's the heist of the century. Right? It's just great. I mean, it's just fun movie to watch. You know, I don't want to spoil it too much if you haven't seen it. It's good. It's worth watching. It's an all-star cast. Everyone's great. And I like it. I don't know what to tell you. It's a good movie. They steal the money from, like, the fucking big, rich, billionaire cocksucker. Fuck them. Fuck them. The rich ones. Anyway, it's a good movie. I know that there's sequels, and I know that there's an original. Haven't seen them. Still haven't seen them, but I've seen Ocean's 11. I'm in. I consider it a good movie. I'm a fan. Ocean's 11. There you go. It's a movie film. It's a movie. I mean, I don't know what else to say. But I did see that movie, and it is a movie film. It's a motion picture. Really? When you think about it, it is a motion picture. So, watch some other films over the course of the last week. I watched a lot, like a couple long movies. I mean, this one's long as fuck. So a couple days ago, now again, I am not much of a comic book movie person. Never really seen that kind of, like, I know that they exist, right? I know that they're the whole genre. I've steered clear of them. But you know, every once in a while, I'm scrolling through HBO, whatever. Oh, okay, a comic book movie, whatever. Watched Watchmen. That's right, I watched Watchmen. Say that 30 times fast, am I right? Watched Watchmen. And now again, I haven't seen any, like, I don't know anything about comic book movies. I haven't really seen Spider-Man, Superman's, Batman's. I've not seen any of them. And so I watched Watchmen. Like, the whole vibe of this movie is, it's like, what if there's like superheroes, except like they're not like the cringy good guys or the cringy bad guys. They're just like morally gray characters. And so again, I don't know the source material. I haven't read the original comics or whatever, but I watched the movie, and this is like a 3-hour movie. It was long. It was a long fucking movie. And you know, it's like there's superheroes, right? But they're not just good guys or just bad guys. They're morally gray. Like, one of them's a rapist, right? One of them, kills, you know, a pregnant person pregnant with their child. You know, they're a rapist, one. Then they kill the people that they rape and their own children. All right, it's a little, you know, it's a little much, right? But, you know, it's a movie. And so, you know, it's got the blue guy. I don't know, the blue guy. Gonna be honest, I don't know about the blue guy. I feel like his character was really strange. I didn't quite understand him. So he was in some weird experiment. He became like a being of pure energy. And so he can technically do whatever he wants, I guess, or something. But he's also autistic and doesn't know how to talk to people. And it's just it's a strange character, a very strange character. And then you got I guess he's the main character, the Rorschach guy, who's an incel. His personality is that he's an incel with narcissistic personality disorder, who thinks that he doesn't have any narcissism or personality disorders, and that's the joke. And so I liked his arc. I liked the narration overlays where he's doing his journal or whatever. And then at the end of the movie, he puts the journal in some newspaper mailbox or whatever, and then, that's the whole movie we've been watching is based on it's that guy. But anyway, his character is that he's an incel, but then also, okay, he's an incel, but he wants to kill the bad guy, right? He wants to kill the bad guy. The bad guy in this movie is a billionaire who wants to bring about world peace. By the way, the other part of this movie that I enjoyed is that it's an alternative history where it's we're in the 1980s, but Richard Nixon has a third term or something. He won a third term in the 1980s, which okay, so that means amending the Constitution for Richard Nixon. I mean, I buy it. He's, didn't get caught on Watergate, became a dictator. I'm in, I buy it. But anyway, so So anyway, so we're in this we're in this Cold War, Richard Nixon versus the Soviet Union bullshit. And so this billionaire, who's also a superhero, wants to bring about world peace. So what he does is he basically kills a bunch of people, blames it on the blue guy, who's like a super being of energy or whatever, kills like millions of people, blames it on the blue guy, and then the Soviet Union and Richard Nixon make friends, and then they try to kill the blue guy. And Rorschach is like, that's fucked up, bro. This is the billionaire's fault. Like, you can't kill millions of people for the sake of killing them, of saving millions. It's the morally, it's the trolley problem, but like in a more interesting, ethical kind of situation, right? Where it's like, okay, so you got the trolley problem, right? It's killing 3 people to save 8 people, right? And then it's like, oh, but what if one of the 3 people that you would kill is like someone who is about to solve cancer. They're about to cure cancer. Well, then maybe is it okay to kill 8 people to save the 3 people, one of which is about to cure cancer? Right, so, the Blue Man Group is in Watchmen. That's right, but there's only one Blue Man. So anyway, so like, it's got that, I get it, right? I get I understand the motive, but, overall, Rorschach, the incel character, still thinks that he's the bad guy. I agree, probably. But again, it's hard to tell, right? But I love this movie for having a bunch of morally gray characters. I think that that's super cool. Like, there's obvious villains, right? But then again, like, every character's a villain. And so like every character's a villain and a hero, kind of at the same time. And so I don't know. I haven't been super into superhero comic book movies, but I checked this one out. I think it's pretty interesting. Would I watch it again? Maybe. I like the cinematography of it. Like, there's a lot of really good scenes that are just like really cool. There's just like a lot of really cool like scenes of like the cinematography. It's hard to describe, but like, I loved the beginning where, like, the rapist character is getting assassinated and thrown out the window. And so, like, that's super cool. Like, the falling at the... It's just fun. It's a fun movie. 3 hours, it's pretty long, right? But it's fun. I'd recommend it if you've never seen it. I'm not super into superhero movies, right? That's not my thing, personally. But Watchmen, not bad. Not bad. So I'm in. Endorsed. Yeah, that's right. We're doing a gauntlet of movie reviews today. We're doing a fucking gauntlet. You know about gauntlets? The Gauntlet? Doom 2, Map 3. You know about the Gauntlet? I don't know if y'all know about the Gauntlet. I've seen Scarface, Donald James. I've seen Scarface. Though I haven't seen it since I was like fucking 12, so I'd like to see it again. But I have seen Scarface. It's a classic. I don't know what to tell you. It's really fucking good. Have you played the fucking PlayStation 2 game that's a sequel to Scarface? Check this out. So they made a PlayStation 2 game called Scarface The World Is Yours, I believe. And in this alternate universe, Scarface survives the ending of the original movie. He survives the ending, Tony Montana. And then he basically takes revenge on all the people that orchestrated his murder, his assassination. And so the game is like, it's like a Grand Theft Auto style game. Similar to Grand Theft Auto. It's interesting. If you haven't played it and you like Scarface the movie and you like Grand Theft Auto, give it a shoot. You know what? Like, it's worth, it's worth it. If you like the character Tony Montana and you like Grand Theft Auto style gameplay, I would check out that game for PS2. I think it's on Xbox, maybe on GameCube. I don't think it's on GameCube. But yeah, I have seen Scarface. I'd like to watch it again. I really enjoyed that movie as a kid. That was one of my mother's favorite movies, so I'm into it. Maybe I'll watch it again. All right, next movie that I'm going to review that I watched this week That's right. It's a lightning round. Sin City. Oh shit, this is in theaters everywhere. April 1st, 2005. That's great. Sin City. Haven't seen it before. It's apparently another comic book movie. And Sin City. I mean, okay, so this movie, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. The black and white vibe, phenomenal. Phenomenal. Fucking phenomenal. Like, this movie was great. Like, this movie, I was so fucking into this movie. I was watching this movie. I loved it. Like, first of all, the cinematography in this movie, phenomenal. Phenomenal. Like, the way that the camera works as its own, like, you know, it's the art, you know. I love how, like, it's black and white, but it's got, like, a lot of objects and characters are colored. Like the yellow bastard. So it's a black and white movie, and then you've got, like, the yellow guy with yellow skin, and it pops out, and it's just great. You got the guy with the red shoes, you know, and the character with the blue eyeballs, right? And then it's like, it's just, I love the way that they used color in this movie. I think it's phenomenal how it's black and white, but then, like, certain people, certain characters have, like, colored outfits, you know, and it's always, like, these popping colors, yellow, blue, there's some green, there's some red, like, the blood is red, some of the blood is, like, white. The artistic quality of this film is fucking great. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. And it's unique. I cannot say I have ever seen I've probably seen some movies that have done something similar to this before, or some stuff, but it is such a unique film. Black and white, but with the color accentuation, it's phenomenal. It's really phenomenal. It was so interesting. It's so unique. And for that alone, I'm in. As an artistic piece, for that alone, just for the way that the colors work in this movie, I'm in. I rate it worth watching. But then also the stories are really good, right? Like, there's the part at the beginning. Like, the first story, like, this thing I like about this movie is that it's like an anthology. Like, Sin City is like the setting or location, right? And then there's, like, all the characters, and they have their own stories, and it's kind of like a non-linear, like, walking backwards storytelling. Like, I think the first story, I think there's, like, 3 or 4, takes place at the end chronologically, right? So, like, as the stories keep happening and you move from chapter to chapter, you see some of the characters from the other stories in the background, and I love that shit. It's great. I love it. Okay, it's really cool. But I love the first story, where there's, like, a town of women that basically control the town, and they've made a deal with the cops that no cops are allowed, but the cops violate that deal, right? And then, like, the badass bitch brigade murders a shitload of police with guns, with swords. There's, like, the katana lady. Woo! I was so in. That shit was phenomenal. It was so good. When they fucking when they're on the rooftops and they just start gunning down the cops. Oh! Again, any movie where there's cops being murdered. Now, again, I'm talking about movies here. Fictional movies that are fictional. They are not real. They're actors playing characters, right? They're not actually killing cops. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's really fucking good. And then you've got, like, the Bruce Willis character, who is a cop, who gets betrayed by corrupt cops, and then takes revenge on some of those corrupt cops. Great! Oh! And then you got that fucking weirdo cannibal freak. Oh! Oh! Like, every character, in my opinion, was just so... Like, they're so interesting. Like, even, like, you know... They're not, like, that's the thing, it's Sin City, right? So the thing is that all the characters are basically, they're sinning all the time, and that's the movie. All these characters are bad people, essentially. But, like, it's just fun to watch. It's fun to fucking watch. It's great. Yeah, the Marv storyline with that guy, like, who's, like, and he's got that unreliable narrator thing going on there. And, like, because, like, he's on medication that stops him from being, like, confused or something. But then his parole officer who supplies him with his medication gets killed in part of his, like, quest for revenge. She gets killed by the cannibal people. And then so he can't take the medicine anymore. And then he meets someone who's, like, a twin of someone who he knows is dead. So he keeps confusing. I love, one of my favorite things is unreliable narrator. I love that trope of the unreliable narrator. And it's just great. I love it. So, I mean, this movie was so fun to watch. It was a great artistic experience, like just watching the movie, like the colors, the music, right? My opinion, though, and this is, hey, I'm just going to be honest with y'all. My opinion. There's a lot of tits. There's a lot of ass. Not enough cock. I'm just saying, like, I don't know what this, like, women in movies are, like, forced to get naked all the time. Meanwhile, no one who's a man and acting wants to show off their junk. I'm just saying, it's very uneven. It's not fair. So I'm just throwing that out there. It's not fair at all. But other than that, minor criticism. This movie, pretty fucking good. I would recommend it. It's an artistic experience. And it's just great. I enjoyed it. I thought it was really fucking good. So, Sin City, I recommend. I know there's a sequel out. And if I find it, I would like to watch it. But really good stuff. I enjoyed it quite a bit. So, goddamn sin-ass motherfucking city. Holy mackerel. That's one thing I like about Westworld. Westworld's got an overdosing of cock in that goddamn movie. Like, everyone in Westworld, which, by the way, new episode tonight. Everyone in Westworld, they're naked all the time, including the boys. Hey, I mean, it's a good movie. I don't know what to tell you. It's a good fucking movie. Show, Westworld. It's a good show. I mean, it's a really long movie. It's like a 30-hour movie, but it's a good one. Yeah. Yeah, unreliable narrator. That's my shit. Like fucking Memento, which I've got to watch again. Memento's the best unreliable narrator that I've seen in a movie. Oh. Alright, y'all, we're continuing with the fucking goddamn movie lightning round. The movie fucking lightning round. I was too depressed all week to talk about movies, so I didn't. I just watched them. Alright, so the other day, I got high, and I watched a classic. I watched fucking Office Space. So I've seen this movie probably like 5 times. This was probably like my 5th or 6th time watching this movie. It's just really good. It's really good. Office motherfucking Space. It's a classic. It's a classic. So, you know, it's Office Space. What I like about this movie is that every character is hilarious. Like, every character is constructed to be as funny as possible, right? And then you've got the main character who's just, like, depressed. He's just, like, his whole character is that he's depressed, right? And so, now, I must admit, I've never worked in an office, right? So, I don't know how realistic it is. But, like, the way that, like, they have, like, the boss character, I remember when fucking, you know, I'm about to bum everyone out here, but does anyone remember when Marjorie Taylor Greene was posting Office Space memes in Congress? Oof. Brutal. But anyway, I love it. So, like, the main character basically hates his job, wants to kill himself, right? He wants to kill himself. His life sucks, etc., etc. And then, like, his stupid fucking girlfriend, like, brings him to some, like, hypnotherapist or some shit. And the hypnotherapist dies. Like, it's such a weird fucking scene. Like, that scene where, like, the hypnotherapist is sweating, and he's like... And then he just, like, passes out, hits the ground, and dies. And then the main character has, like, that to him was like, wow. And he had, like, a life-altering experience. I love it. It's so good. And then he decides to just stop going to work. And this is where the movie gets fucking good. Right? So he stops going to work. And then he starts going to work, but just, like, makes fun of his boss. Like, his boss asked him to come into work. He's like, I don't really feel like it. His boss asked him to do extra work. Nah. And then, like, he meets with, like, some corporate goons who give him a promotion because he's a straight shooter. And it's just hilarious. It's really funny. But then he realizes that they're going to fire his friends, like the only friends he has that work at the office. So they all devise a scheme to steal money from the company before they get shit canned. And then they've got the scene where it's like, my favorite part of this movie is when they're installing the virus. When they're installing the virus and it's the music montage, right? And it's like the slow motion of putting the floppy disk into the computer. And then the sound effects, it's like, you put it in and it's like, boom. It's like, it's great. That's my favorite part of the movie. Where they're throwing the floppy disk to each other. They put it in the machine. They press enter, right? I just love it. I also love the scenes where the progress bar, like they're waiting for the progress bar and the boss is coming in and it's like going slow. And then the progress bar completes itself. And then it starts back at you ever see that shit? What the fuck? Like, what is the point of a progress bar? It fills all the way up with those weird blocks. Remember those? Like the Windows 98 blocks, right? So it fills all the way up, and then it just starts back at the... Like, who came up with that? Like, again, like, now I've had this happen, like, because, you know, I've used computers before. But, like, again, list of people that their existence makes me rethink my position on the death penalty. Whoever came up... Now, again, I still am anti-death penalty, to be very clear. I don't advocate the death of anybody. But I think about rethinking my opinion often. And, like, the people that made those progress bars that just start over and then end and then start over again, wow. Like, those are people... We need to do something about those people. They need to be locked the fuck up. But anyway... And then you've got, like, the fucking scene where they beat the fucking shit out of the printer. Oh, I mean, that shit is funny. I literally die every time. I die every time watching that shit. It's just so fucking funny. It's just so fucking funny. It's just so good. But then, like, okay, so they install a virus that steals money from the company. But then they steal too much money. An accident. Whoops, we got too much money. So then they're worried about getting caught. And then, of course, the ending is great because, like, the company just burns down and they don't get caught and everything's fine. It's just great. And then you've got, so, like, the movie is, like, about how office jobs suck. But then you've got the, you know, the lady working at the restaurant, which is even worse than the office because you got that shitfuck coworker that's just happy to be working because they're a fucking corporate slave and they're just, like, happy about it, right? And then they make everyone else feel bad because the manager's like, why can't you be more like this guy, right? And then the flare, like, oh, the flare is so funny. It's a funny movie. It's funny as hell. And it's not that long. That's the thing I like about this movie. It's like, you know, it's like 85 minutes. It's not that long. It's just so good. I mean, it's really funny. It's really funny stuff. But my favorite scene in this movie, my favorite series of scenes, is when they're installing the virus and then when they're celebrating. So they install the virus and then the next couple of scenes where they're celebrating the fact that they installed the virus. But again, my favorite multiple seconds of this movie is when they put the floppy disk in the machine. And it's so dramatic. It's in slow motion and it's a floppy disk. I mean, it's hilarious fucking stuff. It's so funny. It's so funny. I'm into this movie. This is a good movie. I will watch this movie again, most likely. It's a good fucking movie. It's a classic. I would argue. I would go as far as to say that this is a classic. And then the fucking, of course, the squirrely motherfucker with the stapler. Ugh. And then when they throw him in, like, the closet in the basement or something. Like, I want to watch this movie with subtitles one day. I want to see what the subtitles or the closed captions say for when the squirrely motherfucker. I love that they call him squirrely. Like, that's what I'm referring to him as. Like, one of the corporate goons calls him squirrely. Like, what the fuck does that mean? But he's squirrely. I want to watch this movie with captions on just to see what the fuck he's saying. Because, like, it's almost impossible to... Like, I've seen this movie so many times, but almost every time it's, like, impossible to figure out what the fuck this guy's saying. And it's great. It's just a funny movie. Good movie. I'm into it. I think it's good. I endorse it. Office Space. Endorsed. Watch it. I'm out of water. I'm out of fucking water. That sucks. That sucks. I already drank my covfefe, dude. I'm all covfefe'd up. Alright, I got one last movie review. Save the best for last. I also watched this last night. Beavis and motherfucking Butthead Do the Universe. So I watched this last night. First of all, I had no idea that there was a new Beavis and Butthead movie. I had not heard anything about this until someone came in my chat like the other day and said, "Are you going to talk about the new Beavis and Butthead movie?" And I didn't even know it was a thing. And so I was like, fuck yeah. So this movie, I thought this movie was amazing. But I will say, so I was pretty fucked up on multiple drugs. I was like coming down off of a shroom experience. I was high as fuck. And I was like 4 drinks in. I was fucked up. I got a little wild last night. A little bit. Watch Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe. So the first thing about this movie I want to say that's jarring is how detailed the background animation is. Right? Like Beavis and Butthead, if you watch Beavis and Butthead Do America, the original movie, or like any of the Beavis and Butthead original show, like one of the things about the show and the original movie is that the backgrounds are often ignored, right? And the characters are the focus. But in this movie, the background, like everything is super well detailed. It's HD, you know, like it's really, it's wild to watch, you know, to watch like these And then my favorite part, again, is that, of course, Beavis and Butthead, they still got the AC/DC and Metallica shirts. It's so fucking funny. It's so fucking funny. I love that they're... Like, I was interested to see if they would change Beavis and Butthead's personalities at all. But not only did they not change their personalities at all, but, like, okay, so the main feature of the movie is, like, the first 20, 30 minutes is the setup. They're going to space camp in 1998, and somehow they get brought into space. Who knows, right? But whatever. Series of bad decisions. And then they go into a black hole, like Interstellar or some shit, and then they pop out in 2022, and that's the whole thing of the setup, right? To explain why Beavis and Butthead are in 2022 and they have not aged. So, and the whole setup is great. It was so funny. It was really hilarious. The thing I like about this movie as well is that it's basically identical to Beavis and Butthead Do America, but with a different core plot line. So, like, the goal of Beavis and Butthead is to score. It's the same thing in Do America. They're being chased by the cops. It's the same thing in Do America. There's the scene where Beavis gets, like, really fucked up on drugs and starts being cornholio. It's the same thing as Do America, right? Instead of there being a peyote scene in Do America, in this one, there's, like, a dream sequence. You know, it's very similar, but I thought the peyote scene in Do America was better. But it's just really fun. It was a fun movie to watch. I had no idea that this movie existed, so it's like, to me, it was extremely enjoyable to watch. And again, it's all predictable and it's all great. So again, then there's the scene where they're in 2022 and they go to like the college and they walk into a gender studies course. And then they walk in and they're Beavis and Butthead, right? So I was thinking like, okay, so what are they going to do here? Is this going to be cringy? And if it's going to be cringy, in what direction is the cringe? But they nailed it. I mean, I'm not going to lie. They nailed it. So they go in there and they say that they want to score with sluts. Everyone wants to do the same thing. And then the teacher says that they have white privilege. And so they had never heard of white privilege before. And so the teacher, they're asking what white privilege is. And the teacher is like, you feel like you can do anything you want and you don't have to worry about police and you can just walk, you can be rude to people and nothing will happen to you. And then Beavis and Butthead are like, oh, we didn't know we had white privilege. And then they leave the gender studies class. And then they start stealing from everybody. And people are like, what the hell are you doing? And then Beavis and Butthead are like, we have white privilege. We're allowed. It's really funny. I was losing it. This fucking movie was really funny. I think they did a great job of bringing Beavis and Butthead into 2022. I think it worked. I think it was hilarious. It was just really fucking funny. There was a scene where they got a cell phone and Beavis thought that Siri on the cell phone was the chick that he's trying to score with. And then so he falls in love with Siri and his chick, but they don't know what a cell phone is. Right? So it's so funny. It's so funny. It was a great movie. But again, if you have not seen Do America, I think Do America is a better movie. But this is good. This is definitely almost as good. But I think Do America is slightly better. And that might just be my bias because it's older and I've seen it more times. But this movie, I'm not going to lie, it's good. It's good. I recommend it. The formula, almost identical to the first movie. But I mean, they nail it. It's great. It's just great. But again, watching a Beavis and Butthead in 2022 and all the characters are so detailed and the backgrounds are so well drawn, it was really hard to watch. Because it was what am I watching? It's so weird. It was they're out of context. The animation's too good for Beavis and Butthead. But, I enjoyed it. It's not that long. It's classic. An instant classic, so to speak. So I'm into it. Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe. What a film. It's a movie. I mean, it's a film. I recommend it. Is Hank Hill in it? I was looking for cameo characters. I know Daria was in this film in the background, but there's a couple other cameo characters, and then you see some aged characters. Because when they do the time vortex, and then you see some of the characters from the first, from the original series and movie, aged up a little bit, but they're all in the background. And so you have to spot them. But I did not see any King of the Hill crossover, unfortunately. But, whatever. Still good. I'd recommend it. Daria's got a show. Anyway, that's my movie lightning round portion of the show. Hopefully y'all enjoyed. I'll be uploading these clips over the last couple, or, over the next week or so. Be popping them up. But, that's it. That's the show. Hopefully y'all enjoyed. I gotta use the bathroom. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I need to use the urination station. In fact, I've got a scheduled appointment with the urination station, as you can see. And, I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. So anyway, thank you for watching. Like the stream. Like all my clips and uploads. Comment on all my videos. Give me money. It's an option. We got a new month, and I gotta pay rent somehow. So if you want to help me continue to live, there you go. That's an option. And yeah, there you go. That's it. That's the show. That's the show. That's it. That's all I got.
It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day. Every day it is time for us to agree.
And then they have cans of soup. And they throw the cans of soup. That's better than a brick because you can't throw a brick, it's too heavy. But a can of soup, you can really put some power into that, right? And then when they get caught, they say, no, this is soup from my family. They're so innocent. This is soup from my family. It's incredible. And you have people coming over with bags of soup, big bags of soup, and they lay it on the ground, and the anarchists take it and they start throwing it at our cops, at our police. And if it hits you, that's worse than a brick because it's got force. The perfect size. It's like made perfect. And when they get caught, they say, no, this is just soup from my family. And then the media says, this is just soup. These people are very, very innocent. They're innocent people.
Why attack Sanders? Why? You're getting nervous, man. Calm down. It's okay.
Good news is, for me, I'm here. The bad news for you is, I'm coming back.